Awesome. All right, guys, so let's start this. So if I do ls, okay, maybe in the right place, come on. You guys should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, did I put really 8 up there? So you should have like 8 files to download under Day5, okay? So I'm going to start, probably shouldn't have deleted that, with, let's do reverse. So reverse doesn't really have that many options. It's just got V if you want to look at the version and H if you want help for rev. So let's see. Yeah, see how the options just tell you? So if ever you need help, so H I know usually is human readable, but if you do -- help, it will tell you other things that you can use with this. Let's try. Let me see. Nice. Okay. So every time you use a command, you can always see what other options there are by doing -- help. I believe that you can also pull the manual file by doing man and then man and then the name of the command. All right. So so rev, what it's going to do is going to reverse the order of the characters, not the lines. Okay. So let me open maybe the first one. There you go. So I'm going to use rev and then file 1. There you go. So really all it does, it goes line by line and it just reverses the order of the characters itself. Okay, so this would be used, for example, in conjunction with other things. Remember how we did pipe last time? So that would be if you're adding a few things and maybe you're trying to change a word that you found or something. I mean, there's no other purpose. Right now, there's no purpose unless I'm just playing around to do this. I think I was doing a CTF challenge where we had to, the password or the hash was backwards and I just had to turn it over. So, because I like to make sure that I give you guys like real world examples. So rev, you know what rev does, but you would use it in conjunction with other things like with grep or maybe through your search or before you delete things. You see, I've looked at other examples and it's really long and maybe they just want the last 2 letters, so they end up using rev so they can just get the last 2 letters of the file or of the sentence or whatever. Okay, so now let's get into sort. Okay, so if you want to reverse the order, so now we're talking about lines of, for example, file 1, you could use sort -r file 1. Actually, let me first, oh, you actually see it, right? You see the order here? Okay. Oh, that did not work. Great. All right, reverse the sorting order. Oh, okay, never mind. So what it did, so let's see if I can just do, will it let me do this? Right, okay, so it's sorted. So it only looks the same because orange would have been last. So if I just do cat file 1, right, it's out of order. If I sort it, boom, starting with A, ends with O. So if I do sort -r, it takes this one that's been sorted and reverse the order, right? So not sorted, sorted, reversed in the sorting. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm not hearing anyone, so. All right, hold on a second. I have to find. So if you play around, oh, actually, I know exactly where it is. I'm sorry, guys. Disorder. Let's see. Awesome. All right. So now I'm going to look at the file called disorder. So if you take a look at it, it's got a bunch of names. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick the field you want to sort it by. So technically in this file, there are 3 fields, right? There's the number, there are first name, and there are last names. So if I want to sort by first name, right, I would do cat -k, oops, it should be 2. And it should be the word disorder. Oh my goodness. That's because I didn't put sort. There we go. Whew. All right, so not by first, but by second, right? So this was the first field, this is the second field, this is the third field. So it's going to sort it by the first name. So J goes first, OR last, right? If I want to do it by last name, so that would be the third field. There you go. Last field has been sorted. Okay. I'm purposely leaving this one away because I don't like it. So give me a second with that one. All right. And the last one is going to be repeats. I'm opening the repeats file. Let's see what's so good about this one. Okay. So I purposely put, so obviously it's not going to be able to sort with the very first field, which is what it would do. So if I didn't do -K1, it would sort by the very first thing it sees, right? So I have to specify what I wanted to get, how I want it ordered, right? So this one I wanted the second field, and this one I wanted the third field to be ordered, right? So here it's going to be kind of hard. Of course, it's going to have like a bunch of unas together. So let's try that actually. Let me sort by that second field, right? What is the name of this thing? It's repeats. Cool. All right. So that makes sense, right? So this is technically ordered. So it went to the next one, which is a bunch of O's, and then we went to the L. So it was going to go one by one by one, right? Because the first couple are the same, right? So now what if I wanted to get rid of the repeated lines? And you guys have definitely practiced that before with, I think it was in Thief, wasn't it? I think it was in Thief you guys did that, where you had to get rid of the extra repeated lines. So if I want the lines to disappear, the repeated ones, I would just use -U. Nice. See this? And it's kind of important, and I was trying to see if I could find you guys those logs, but for example, there are places where the logs are the same, so it's the same user that keeps on repeating again and again and again. And if you sort it by suppressing the repeated lines, you can see how many, instead of seeing that this person entered like 6 times in the system, you just see them once, including their IP address. So it kind of gets rid of all that noise. So hopefully, maybe I'll make it as one of your Friday challenges where you can actually get to use sort-U with actual logs, or actually something you would use in the real world, okay? So I kind of want to know if you guys actually try these. How many did we do? We just did 3, not many.
I don't really understand what the sort-K is doing.
-K, so -K, pick the field you want to sort by. So if we go back up here, right, there are 3 fields, 1, 2, 3. Think of a table, 1, 2, 3. So based on which one I want it to organize itself by, so this is the third field, so it's going to pick the very last one. Does that make sense? If I were to open, so I opened this file, right? You see how it started with my name, Kirvani, Hartman, Ridgeway, blah, 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 right? If I say I want you to reorder this list, but order it by the third field, like I did here, you see how it starts with B? B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. If you compare the two.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the sort-K repeat? What did that do?
The sort-K.
It was like the last one you did. The
last one?
I think you got to start.
This one. This one?
Sort-K.
So same thing, right? So there's
repeat.
one field and a second field, and I just wanted to get sorted by my name, by names.
It's sorting them in alphabetical order.
Exactly. Because the first time I pulled it out, repeats, right, it was kind of all over the place. See how Oprah and Oprah are not in the same place? So if I wanted to see, okay, so go ahead and like list it. Let me see. Okay, so picture like maybe 1,000 lines, right? I just wanted to see first the order. But since there's so many repeats, I just want to see the unique lines. So I did source-U repeats. And now I can see how many. There's only 4 users, right? Instead of it showing 6 users. So if you had like 1,000 lines, but you had a bunch of repeats, you could use this. I did this so I could see the order. When I see the order, that's when I see that there are repeats everywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Cool beans. Awesome. All right, so I kind of wanted you guys to kind of go through some of these with, so the file is called repeats and disorder on purpose, so you guys can play with sort and I guess sort, you can try rev, I mean, it's cool, whatever. Try rev and try sort with those two files, repeats and disorder. I'll give you maybe like 5 minutes just so you can play around with it. Obviously, this is, like I say, I'm teaching you guys how to crawl, and then eventually we'll be able to run. And I'll give you guys like nice and long block files that you can use this on. How are we doing? These are very, very simple commands, and these are commands that you'll be able to pipe through other things. So let's say I was opening a file, then I saw that it needs to be sorted through. I could always do the cat and then repeats, and then let me see. I believe that is one of the commands that we use in whatchamacallit. That is one of the commands that we used in diff, and I believe bandits as well. And remember that you could always create an output, right? By doing this and calling it, I don't know, file one. I can't call it file one because I already have file one, but that is something that you could use it with eventually. Okay? Can I have thumbs up for people that are good, or am I talking to myself? Let me see.
Una?
Yes.
So
Emily,
like
I have a question.
for day 5, I don't know why all the files are separate. Is it supposed to be separated?
yes, yes it is.
So like I just like download every single file and then like put them in day 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we move it into a new file? Like, do we have to create one, or can we just move file 1, file 2, file 3 into a file?
You know what? I don't think I've ever tried that. Let's see. Let's play around with that. Let's see. Test. I'm gonna call a directory called test, okay? Let's see. All right, let's see if I can move file 1, 2, and 3. Let's see. Move file 1, file 2, and file 3 into test. Hey, it worked. Awesome. So if I do cd test, there you go. You guys catch that? Cool. Let me see if I can move it back. Might be a little trickier. File, can't spell file. D5 is not a directory. Yes, it is. All right. Awesome. I guess I'll figure this one out after. Why don't you want to do it? I don't know. All right. Never mind. I'll figure it out in a minute. All right. Let's see. What was I doing? You know what? I guess I'm going to move everything else to that directory as well, then, right? What is it? File 4, file 5, and file 6. Nice. All righty. Cool. All right. All right, so let's move on to diff. So this would be used, especially if you're trying.
I did have a question.
Yes, what's up?
Is there a way to sort it and find the lines that do repeat. So like the dash U, it looks like it's just taking away repeated lines, but it still shows lines that show one time.
Mm-hmm. Yo, you want to try to figure out a way
So
to remove the repeated lines?
no, dash U is removing the repeated lines, but it still
Correct.
shows lines that only popped up once. Is there a way to only show the lines that repeat?
Only show the line that repeat. I'm not sure. There has to be a way. I would have to go and look for it, Zakia.
Okay, it's fine.
Let's see. That looks like it's going to take a little bit more than that then. All right, how about that? I'm going to look it up and I'll get back to you on that, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, we'll get back to that. All right, so the next thing is, for example, if you wanted to look at two files and see if there were any changes to be made. So when would you do that? Maybe you're looking through log files again and you need to see, I don't know, maybe you're doing a backup and you need to see what changed since the backup, right? You just need to look at the difference between two files. You can use diff. There's also CMP. I'll explain a little bit more about CMP in a minute, which stands for compare. So let's start with diff. So I'm going to try and start with file 1 and file 2, right? So if I were to open cat file 1, cat file 2, that way. So obviously here you guys can probably eyeball it, but there's only what, like 6 lines. If they were a lot more, it'd be a lot harder to kind of eyeball it, right? What you could do to see a side by side if it's not that big, right? You can do file 1, file 2. There you go. So now you can actually see them side by side, right? And it's already letting me know, by the way, this line right here doesn't match this. So really think about it this way. What can I do to file 1 to make it match file 2 is what's happening. So you can use diff again and just do file 1. So without any option, file 2. Oops, definitely not that way. And now it starts to look like gibberish, right? So here's what you need to understand. A stands for add, C stands for change, and D stands for delete. What it's telling me, so this is the first file and this is the second file. It's telling me, go ahead and change line 2 to make it match line 2 of the second file. I know it sounds like gibberish, but think about it, right? Change, this is the first file, this is the second file, right? And it's all about changing the first file to match the second file. Make sense? So it's saying change line 2 in order to match this line 2. So I'd have to change apple for pineapple. All right, let's do another one with add. We're gonna do diff. So dash Y is to bring them side to side, okay? So file 3 to file 4. Let's see. All right, cool. So as you can see, I don't have that many. I have only 5 lines and I have 7 lines on the other side. I like to bring them in conjunction with each other. That way I don't have to just read this gibberish, right? So it says, so when it comes to add, they usually mean the line after the number they've specified, right? See how they give you a nice little space here? So after add, you have to add a line after line 3 to match line 4. 1, 2, 3. So add something here to match line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd have to add the word coconut here, right? And then add a line after 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, right here to make it match line 7 on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to be adding the word mango, right? So this little symbol means the first file, all right? And this symbol means the second file. So coconut and mango are the the things we're going to be adding here. I don't usually just bring this out, this out by itself because I find it kind of confusing. I need to see both. I'm a visual person, so which is why I use tree so much. I like to use the side-by-side interpretation and then what exactly do you want me to do after, right? How are we doing so far? A little bit of gibberish, right?
Yeah, you said the greater than symbol refers to the second file?
Yeah, I think it's just to show you which file it's talking about, right? Okay. On the left, you're gonna have the word apple. On the right, it's pineapple. These are the two that they're mentioning. You're gonna be adding coconut and mango to the side. All right, let's compare. I'm gonna let you go first. Let's compare file 4 and file 1. So I want you to do diff file 4 and then file 1 and see what it tells you. And then I want you to do diff-y file 4 and file 1 and see what else it tells you. Okay? I'll let you go ahead for a couple minutes and then I'll do it myself. All right, so diff, let's see, file 4 and file 1. Ooh, what is that telling us, right? So, like I said, I like to do -y first. So for file 4 to match file 1, I'll have to delete mango, right? So delete the 7th line so that it matches the 6th line here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Delete this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. And they'll match. All right. Now you guys can compare file 5 and file 6. This one should tell you a little bit more, right? Because usually you're not just adding one or deleting one. You have to combine what you do. All right, diff, and I said what? File 5, file 6. Let's see. Oh, that's a lot, right? So let's add that -y to it. See, makes a lot more sense, right? So the first one is telling you go ahead and delete that line 1 to match line 0. So technically, if this is its line 1, this would be line 0, right? So I'm supposed to delete papaya for it to start matching this one. Then it says delete line 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pineapple. And we'll match line 3, right? So delete papaya, delete pineapple. So far, if I do that, it'll match the first part of this file, right? Then it says change line 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, mango. So change line 9 so that it matches 7 and 8. Now we're starting to act crazy. 7 and 8. So if I deal with this, first of all, I have nothing, so it won't look like this. But then after that, you see that strawberry and kiwi have been added. So I wonder why I didn't say add strawberry and kiwi, but I'm wondering if it's because all it does is tell you to change line 9. That's interesting. That one's a little confusing though. I'm not sure I like this one very much. Has anyone tried this one? No one? No one
I
has
did.
tried
Are
this
we
one?
supposed to actually go in and change the stuff?
No. You're not supposed to change it. You're about to, I just want you to be able to use those commands. But if you were supposed to see what changes were made, for example, you would know exactly what happened, right? Because you are able to compare the two files at this point.
Sorry, I don't get the difference between the straight line and the greater than sign on Strawberry versus Kiwi.
This one?
Yeah.
So usually whenever we were looking up there, I think it just shows you the difference. Whenever you saw the one for pineapple, it told you exactly where the difference was. I want to say it highlights where it needs to be added or changed, right? If you look at this one, this needs to be changed or added, strawberry.
But then
That's a little confusing, I agree.
Oh, okay.
The straight line shows change. The greater than and less than signs show insertions and deletions. So if you're changing the number of rows, you would use either a less than or a greater than. But if it's the same number of rows, but it just changes into something else, you use the pipe character.
Okay.
Sorry, Ona.
No, that's great. How are we doing? Okay, I got a good from Zakia. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you before I send you to your challenge. And the challenges are also pretty simple, but it just takes a little bit of wrapping your head around things. I'm going to do the CMP, which is compare. So the compare will show you the first instance where something is different. So if you look at a large file, it's going to tell you the first byte, and that is different on each file. So let's try file 5 and file 6, and there's so many changes. Oops, did it again. Okay. Or maybe file 1 and file 2. There you go. So it will tell you which byte, at which byte there's, oh my God, English. At which byte we start to have a difference and which line we start to see it, right? So location and which bytes it starts. So if both files were the same, you would have nothing here. And unfortunately, I didn't get you guys an example, but if both files are exactly the same, there will be no output here. But the fact that it says, hey, by the way, look at line 2, byte 8, you'll know that it starts, the difference starts there. And if there was nothing on line 2, byte 8, if it was the same, it would give you the next one. Because if you guys remember, file 1, file 2, there's more than one error. Actually, if we did this very last one that has a lot of errors, it also only gives you the very first one, right? Line 1, byte 1, we already have a problem here, right? Line 1, byte 1, there's already a difference here. It won't tell you about the other ones, just the very first difference. All right, so if you guys don't have any questions, which if you do, and if you do the challenge and you need help, I will be more than happy to help you. Go ahead. I'm going to publish the challenge, and you guys can already start. And let me know how it goes, okay? All right, Day5 challenge has been published already, so you guys can start.